Okay, for the next stage of this project, you are going to produce your own database feature class that you are going to use to clip the data that you have already downloaded. So to do this, you first have to be on the Catalog tab over here. So make sure that the Catalog tab is open, and then expand the database, and you'll see that here is your database. Now there's already data that's come from other databases in. This is where you have your own created data in this particular project that you are not bringing in externally, like the Avenza data. So what you want to do is you want to right click on this, and you want to produce a new feature class. So you can't quite see it on the screen here, but I'm going down to new feature class and clicking on it. And then I'm going to give it a name, and I'm just going to call it something simple like the Clipper. And it's going to be a polygon. And then when you're finished typing this stuff, at this point, you're done. So just say finish. And it's going to create that new feature class and put it right here. Now it's not on the map. So you have to click it, and you have to drag it and drop it on the map, or put it over here where you want it in your layers. And I'm just going to add it to the very top of this. You're going to want to be able to see that clipper pretty well, and so you'll need to modify the symbol a little bit. So I'm going to click on this and say, well, let's see, I'm going to right click on it. I'm sorry. Now I'm stuck. I'm going to right click on the clipper, and I'm going to go to Symbology, and that's going to bring up the Symbology panel over here. I'm finally in the right place here. And then once I'm on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just click right on that and go to Properties. And then I'm going to change the appearance, and I'm going to give it no color on the polygon that I'm going to make, but then the outline color, I'm going to make it a bright red so I can see it, and make it a little bit bigger than 0.7 points. And then we're ready to go. And you'll see it's just going to be a red box. Okay, now that we're there, we can go back to that catalog page. And there's our clipper. It's all set up. The next thing we want to do is we want to create the data, create the polygon. And we do this by going up to the Edit page right here and saying Create. And what we want to create is the clipper. And so we're going to click on that and then go down and choose the Polygon tool, which is right here. Click on that. And then what you do to create the Polygon tool is you just clip around the area that you want. So I'm just going to click right around sort of this UAA area. I'm not going to be really precise when I do it this time, but I'm going to do my best. This is where all the trees are located. And I might go back and change this later on. And then when I'm done, I can just double click on it. And now I have this red box that surrounds the area that I want to clip. So now we've got that polygon. The next thing we want to do is we want to actually clip the data. And so I'm just going to do this right now with the buildings one. That's all that I think we need to do. To do this, we're going to go to Analysis up here. And that's going to bring up a set of tools right here, and we can just click on that toolbox right there, and all we want to do under Find Tools is type in Clip. And then what we want to do is actually we want to clip. It's going to ask us what our input features are, and we are going to say the buildings. And we want to clip it using the clipper. And then we have to put this someplace to a new feature class. So it's just going to automatically call it buildings_clip. And that should be good enough for me. Now see that there are all these buildings all around here. These are just the UAA buildings. I'm going to run that. And that's going to stay the same. It will take a little bit, especially with really large data sets, but it shouldn't take that long. And see, mine is done now, and there's a building clip up here. If I unclick these buildings down here, everything should go away, except for the buildings that are inside the area that I clipped. So I've successfully clipped that. So you can go ahead and clip the data for the things that you want to bring in. Now again, I'm not going to go through the entire process here. You'll have to put more time into it than what I'm doing in this short video. But the next thing you want to do is you want to change the symbolization in the data a little bit. So the data that I want to symbolize are the buildings, which are a polygon. I no longer need that clipper, so I can turn that off. And I want to change the lakes as well, and probably the trees. So let's go to the buildings first. I don't like that sickly green color. I'm going to go here and click on Symbology, as I did before. It's a single symbol. So I can do one of two things. I can go to the gallery and I can choose building footprint or something else, or I can go to the properties and I can choose my own. And so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make the color sort of a grayish color. And around that, I'm going to put an outline of dark black and say apply. And then now we have these buildings symbolized. I'm going to do the same thing for the lakes, which aren't clipped, of course, but that's not a big deal for me. I'm going to do the same thing, right click on lake and go to Symbology. Click on the symbol itself. And let's see if there's something in the gallery that shows lakes that I might want. There's water area. Let's click water area. Do I like that? Sure. I'll stick with that for the time being. And then the final thing that I want to change is the trees themselves. So let's right click on that and go to Symbology. Right now they're little circles. Let's click on that and see if there's some sort of gallery thing that might look a little bit better than this. That little park sign shows trees, so I'm going to choose that. Oh, that's a little bit too big. Maybe not the best thing to use. I could use push pins as I had them before, or I could scroll down and find some other thing. I actually think I'm going to go back and I'm just going to make these things circles. So here they are appearing as circles. But they might be a little bit too big for me. So I might go to the properties of that circle. They're shown as 10 point right now, and decrease that size to 40% of that size. And I'm going to change the color as well so that they are green. And say apply. And there we have some tree symbols that I like. So now I've begun to symbolize this whole map. And if I want, I can actually start making a map now of this. So the next thing to do to make a map is actually go to Insert. And when you're in Insert, go to Create a New Layout. And you'll have to, again, select the size of what you want to show. I'm going to just make this a letter size. And then I'm going to add a map frame to it. And that map frame is going to be what shows up on the map itself. But I have to actually put that on here as a box. And then that map will appear in here. Now I can activate this map frame and zoom in and out, and I can change it back here as well. But for the time being, I'm just going to stick with what I have right here. I can then also add a north arrow, and I can add a scale bar, and I can even add a legend, and I can add a text box using a text frame up here. So I'm going to let you experiment with some of that as you figure out how to make one of these layouts. And of course, I will be happy to give you advice on this and to suggest ways that you can fix things up if you don't like the way that they are. So that's it for now, trying to keep this relatively short and sweet. Hopefully this has helped you.